Hi there, my name is Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is, as Rosanna said, Boxing Day. Oh. Now, sometimes that happens. You load up this program and everything's different sizes. There we go. Good evening, Aaron, and everyone in here in the chat. Happy Boxing Day. So my first question, today's session is, again, open session Q&A. Got any questions for me about gear? Put them in the chat. Super chats are appreciated. And just a casual one today because we're at that time of year when everyone is just, I guess, chilling out, right? Hopefully. People are off work. People are recovering from the holiday or enjoying the holidays, recovering from the holidays, whichever way you want to see it. And so we'll just have a nice hangout today. And Rosanna, hi, good to see you here. Hope you had a nice day. So we'll ask a few questions, though. First of all, can someone tell me the meaning of Boxing Day? If you're in the UK, today is called Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. So what is Boxing Day? Can someone please tell us in the chat? If you don't know, you could Google it and let us know in the chat. And let me know if you got anything musical for Christmas. I didn't, but you know, obviously I had the YouTube channel. I just got the new Rain song, so I've Santa came early for me. But did you receive anything for Christmas that was music related? Anyone get a guitar or a capo or strings or anything? Musical socks? Let us know. I'm sure David Belcher got some musical socks. Let us know in the chat. And we'll see where we go with this. So, let me come over here and say hi. So David is here and says, good afternoon, Aaron, and everyone in the chat. It's good to see you, David. How are you doing, my friend? Thank you for the Christmas e-card as well. I appreciate it. And Rosanna's here. Rosanna, also thank you for the card. And most importantly, thank you for being here and helping me run the channel. I appreciate it. Rosanna has the blue spanner, which means that she can eject people from the chat. So thank you for doing that, Rosanna. Good evening, Aaron. Everyone in the chat. Happy Boxing Day. Yeah, so what is Boxing Day? Let's figure that out today, because I always have to remind myself every year with what that actually means. And Julian is here. Are you new, Julian? Good to see you. I see someone just subscribed on the messages before I went live. That wasn't you, though. Julian, I won't try and say your surname because I'm going to mess it up. So good to see you here. And do you have a music channel? Let us know if you do, and then we can go, the people can go and check it out later. It says, hey there, greetings from Germany. Very cool stuff. Patsy's here. And here we go. Rosanna has the answer already. It was traditionally a day when presents were gifted to the poor, workmen, and servants. Interesting. Did you find that from Google? Was that on Google? Boxing Day. Such a strange name, isn't it? Boxing Day. Oh, does it mean boxing up presents? I think I always assume it meant boxing up, like boxing. I say it here as well. The name comes from a time when the rich used to box up gifts to give to the poor. Boxing Day was traditionally a day off for servants, a day when they received a special Christmas box from their masters. The servants would also go home on Boxing Day to give Christmas boxes to their families. I see. So in the old days, you had Christmas Day and then you had Boxing Day when they got a day off and got their gifts. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I guess it makes sense now I think about it. Sandy, how you doing? I forgot I'm live on Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Hello, world. You know, you can go live on Instagram now, but they're still working out the kinks, I think. So hopefully I can do that at some point. And Doc, how you doing, Doc? Merry Christmas to you and your family. Happy holidays. Hope you're well. Says, I like the look of your new studio. Yes, Santa did bring me a brand new studio for Christmas, as you can see. There's the monitor behind me. I'm working on a new song over there. And I'm such a good producer, I need 2 sets of studio monitors. I don't just have 1 set like most people. I need to have the Yamahas and the Tannoys for what I do. Also, these ones up here as well. You see the big speakers up there on the wall? Yeah, I have to have the. So in fact, I've got 3 pairs of speakers. I've got the big. They're the big, serious ones up there. Then the Tannoys are, just the regular ones I check out songs on, and then the Yamaha are slightly bigger to check out the bass end of the mixers. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's just today's background. But I like the idea of the background reflecting what we're doing. And I'm talking about music, so why not have music back there, right? Jim Waller. Hey, Aaron. Season's greetings. You too, Jim. How you doing? How is everyone? What's going on? What's everyone up to? Are you at home? You watching TV? You just chilling out? Is anyone playing guitar? I've been learning a new song this week. I've been learning Everlong. I've been looking for new songs. I think I had a dream the other night where someone said I keep playing the same song. So it's obviously on my mind. And I think with what we do, especially if you're out there performing solo gigs like me, you want to keep it fresh, especially if you do regular sessions, whether that's in a restaurant or a bar or an open mic or busking, whatever you do. I guess less so with busking, although you still got the regular people around in the stores that will hear you. I think it's very important to keep learning new songs. Also, the most important person, of course, don't forget, is yourself, because you don't want to get bored of the songs you play either. I have to say, I don't really get bored of the songs that I play. I've been playing Breakfast at Tiffany's for 30 years? I still really like playing it. And I was thinking the other day, someone on here said that they will never play Brown Eyed Girl. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand where you're coming from. I've never sat down and played Brown Eyed Girl for myself, for fun. But I don't hate playing it at gigs because people like it. It's upbeat. Even if they don't like it, the fact that it's upbeat and has the easy sing-along chorus means that people will enjoy it. They'll especially if they've had a few drinks, they'll join in, they'll sing along, they'll tap their foot. I think it's important to remember this as well. Songs and music isn't just for the performer. In fact, it's usually for the audience, right? But there's ways to look at this. Just because at home you don't ever play a song and don't even want to play a song doesn't mean you won't enjoy that song if you play it live. So next time, I can't remember who said this, but we were talking a few weeks about this. But just try this if you want to. I'm not telling you what to do. I guess I am, but that's fine. If you're at a gig, play a song that you don't really enjoy playing, as long as you can play it well, like if it suits your voice and your style. Even if you don't personally ever play that at home, try it at the gig. I think you might enjoy the reaction from the people more than the song itself. So if you start playing Brown Eyed Girl at a gig this Friday night and people just go crazy and dance and sing, which they usually do for those songs because they want songs they can move to and enjoy more than the slower songs, as we know generally, right? And especially in a party environment. Try a song you wouldn't normally do and see if you actually enjoy the reaction more than the song, because I think that's what happens with me. I never sit here and sing Wonderwall to myself. I'll sit here and sing, like I've just been learning Everlong. I'll sing that. I'm enjoying that because it's a new song. People say to me, what's your favorite song? Well, it's the newest song that I'm learning because it's exciting and fresh. I never sit here and sing Wonderwall, but I don't dislike playing Wonderwall. But I like to play Wonderwall at a gig because most of that now is the reaction from the audience that I'm feeding off more than the song itself. Does that make sense? So anyway, I hope you're well, Sandy. It's good to see you. Saw you around Facebook this week. And the doc is considering getting a LA610 channel strip. Well, I think I have that on my Apollo Twin X. But of course, it's virtual. That's interesting, isn't it? I'm very much into tube amps versus digital products. And yet with the studio, I'm never going to buy an analog piece of gear. I'm more than happy with all the digital stuff that I use for recording. But with the guitar, it's very important to me. I think that's more because the guitar is something that I'm playing in a room, in a space. Whereas when I record, I've already come to terms with the fact that I'm recording in a computer. Everything is in the computer, unless it's like a mic on the acoustic guitar. I am not using analog gear when I record. I don't have the money or the space for it, and I'm an independent artist, right? I'm not like the doc who's recording people professionally. So I've really come to terms with the fact that the digital sims inside the Apollo Twin are more than adequate for me. But when I play guitar, I still like the real guitar. It's interesting. And then Thomas Moore has his HD28 out. Very nice. Is that a 2022 or before? Has it got the streaky ebony fretboard? Elvis and American Trilogy yesterday in the key of A. Elvis and American Trilogy yesterday in the key of A. I'm not sure what that is. But I did learn today that Elvis used to dye his hair with boot polish, which I never knew. Lee says hello. He's not working. He's driving. We're driving home after spending Christmas with the family. Aha. So I hope you played my song, my cover version of Driving Home for Christmas. Actually, I guess that doesn't work anymore. If I wasn't doing this, Rosanna, I'd record you a new version. Driving Home from Christmas. Get it? Sorry, it's too late for that. Home for the holidays, says Jim, and yes, playing guitar. I need a few new songs too. Well, so what songs are we learning then? Let's talk about that. Jasper says, I look like an airplane pilot with the headset. Looks good. Thanks, Jasper. I'm really enjoying it. I've come to realize that I do have a headset mic like this for my old wireless system where I could have the headset and then the in-ears, so you wouldn't have the big headphones on like the pilot look. But the thing is, I feel like a lot of YouTubers now are wearing the headsets anyway. And I'm just so happy with the sound now. I'm so happy that it doesn't matter what's going on. If someone's vacuuming or there's a plane flying over. Remember those interviews I did in the lockdown where the plane would fly over and I'd hit the mute switch every time? And it was so stressful, so annoying. With the headset, you haven't got to do any of that because it's only picking up me. And if I move here, it's the same. If I move here, it's the same. If I move here, it's the same. I really like that. I know it doesn't look quite as good, but, you know, there was c'est la vie. A 1993, so no streaks and has a long saddle, which is unique. 1993 HD28, I bet that's nice. Has it got the narrow nut? You said, are you learning any songs? Oh, you're learning that then. So what are you learning? Eddie's learning... Oh, an American Trilogy. So I don't know that song. What's up with that? An American Trilogy in the key of A. I don't know American Trilogy. Huh. That's not good. I thought I knew that. So Andy says, glad you catch up with me on Facebook. Yes, I'm on all the socials these days. Aaron Short Music on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Or that's my artist page. It's not my personal page. I try to keep that for local friends and family if I can. Sean Hockey says, great job. Beautiful song you did on the Metalhead Hippie Show. Well done, buddy. Happy holidays. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, so it's funny when you record a Christmas song because you're on a timeline. And I thought to myself, do I release this 4 weeks before Christmas or on Christmas Day or a few days before? I think each of those has its valid reason for doing so. If you release it 4 weeks before, people might get bored of the song. If you release it on the day, it's really fresh and exciting, but then it's only got 1 day to be listened to. So I did release it like 5 days before, but that wasn't planned. That's just the fact that I had time that night and sat down and recorded the song. So I think it worked out well though, but then I realized that time was running out for views on that song. I really wanted to get at least 500 views on it because I spent the night and the day on it. And then I forwarded it to the Metalhead Hippie Show. If you haven't seen them, they're on YouTube, Metalhead Hippie. Subscribe to that channel. Hippie, Hippie, Metalhead Hippie. And you've seen him on the channel a few times in the chat. And I asked them to play it as well. I was just trying to get as many views as I could. And I also did a short. If you're doing YouTube and you don't do shorts, you must start now. I wish I'd started sooner. These YouTube shorts are excellent because what you can do is you can make your video. So I made the song, right? Then you can make up to 60-second clip of the song. Think of it as a trailer. Or if you've done like a 10-minute video where you say, what's my favorite capo? You could put that, you could make like a 60-second version of it. Of my favorite capo is this, and this is why. see the full video at my channel. Think of it as a commercial for your channel. And it seems to me that they don't push those shorts out to your followers, your subscribers. So you're not bugging them every day with a short. They seem to be pushed out to all new people. So it's like, think of it as a commercial for your channel. So it pushes it out to new people. And I've noticed that some do really well, get thousands of views, and some do okay and get 100 views. But there's people subscribing from those that would not normally get to see your channel. I'm sure the regular videos would also pop up occasionally on people's feeds. They do push them out to people's feeds like that. But with the shorts, YouTube are trying to be really aggressive with it. They're trying to really push them out to basically compete with like Instagram and TikTok. So they're pushing them out like that really aggressively. So you're getting it's seen in front of a lot of new people. So the shorts alone last week, which didn't take me too long to make, got me in front of about another 500 to 1,000 people. And I got several subscribers from that as well. So definitely check out these YouTube shorts. And it's so easy because all you do is you take a clip from the video you've already made and post it as a short, hashtag shorts, and it goes up. And you've got basically double the content for a very small amount of work. And you can also put that clip up, the shorts clip, onto Instagram and TikTok. And on there, you can say, check out the full video on YouTube as well and drive them back that way. So one video, rather than just make one video and put it on YouTube, you could, in fact, make one video and then take that clip and put it on all the other platforms, linking it back to YouTube by saying the full video is on YouTube. So I'm not saying that it's as easy as that. It hasn't worked for me like where suddenly I've got thousands of new subscribers, but it's definitely given me double the views and double the exposure, and at least that gives you a chance of more people subscribing. I've got like a handful of new subscribers this week from that alone, and then you've got your regular videos as well. So definitely check that out. But I'm glad they played it. I like the community they have over there, and it's very nice that they support independent artists over there. It's really cool. So thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. And thanks for subscribing. Lee's learning a few Moody Blues songs. Thomas Moore says it's a 1/11/16 nut with a low profile. Nice. Yeah, not many guitars have that nut width anymore. Some people are so against it. I'm okay with it, personally. Depends on what you're playing, right? Feliz Navidad with Dad with a looper is killer. It's funny. I'll tell you a story about that. I've been finishing the shows this week. So if you don't know, I do gigs in the city, right? It's my sort of day job. It's a funny way of saying it, isn't it? But I've been finishing with that song, but I never actually sat and learned the lyrics. So I've just been singing Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad. And then there's a line at the end, and I didn't know what that line was, so I just left it out. I feel terrible. I do feel bad about it. It's very lazy. You shouldn't do that. But then I just sang, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. So I just did it as a little jam. You can, yeah, you're right. You can loop it and you can solo over it. Talking about loopers, I've got some interesting things to talk about loopers today. But you can solo over it, you can sing over it, but do learn the Spanish. It's Spanish, right? Do learn those sections as well. And don't just leave them out like I did. I felt pretty guilty about that. My Christmas gift, says Jasper, €175 Elliot Capo. Waste of money, but nice to own one. Icon Capo. Yeah, have I tried an Elliot? I think I may have done, but I'm so into these. I'm so invested in these G7s. They just do everything that I want. You know, they're light, they look nice, they're built well. And this one's cool. This is the one that's adjustable. It's my favorite probably. But on a gig, I use the one that's not adjustable. It's just a clamp. But I love the adjustable one as well. Yeah, I don't see a reason to look elsewhere. There's some products like that where I'm like, I've got the thing. I would still try other things because sometimes you do find something you like more. But with this G7, I'm so happy. I've been so happy with it for so many years that I don't see a reason to change. It's the same with the picks. I'll try new picks, but I love the Jazz 3 XLs. So I've got those things there. They're now my benchmark, right? They're the things that I would put everything else up against. Thanks, Rosanna. Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing more songs now. Now I've figured out a way to do these songs with the tracks behind them and the video clips. I'm thinking about doing some more cover songs, so look out for those next year. Next year we'll be talking about New Year's resolutions. So have a think about that and let me know next week. Yeah, next week, next Monday, right? What will next Monday be? Is it New Year's Day? I'll be talking about New Year's resolutions, so have a think about that for next week. Jim Waller says, 6th Avenue, Heartache and Peace, Love and Understanding. New old. Yeah, I like that song. I've always liked the Elvis Costello version of Peace, Love and Understanding, if that's the one that you're talking about. Melvin, how you doing? Are you on the ships these days? I met Melvin. We met him on the cruise years ago. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Some more of my friends have been doing the cruises lately too, I've seen, which is awesome. A little bit jealous. But not of all the thing they have to go through all the emergency procedures and all that. I'm not so jealous of that. Sean said, my first short got 800 views in a few hours. I was amazed. I'm a tiny channel. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Sean. So what I can see, it doesn't matter how big your channel is. All right. My brother just started doing his channel again. He's only at a few hundred subscribers because he hasn't been doing it. Now he's started doing it again. He's grown. Actually, no, I think he's grown about 50 this week already. He's doing well. But he did a short that got 10,000 views. And my channel that's got more subscribers only got 100 views on one of the shorts. It didn't make sense. But that shows me that it doesn't matter how many viewers you have, how many subscribers you have. It matters. The shorts thing doesn't matter. It's not connected. It's its own thing. So it's really cool. But what I have noticed with the shorts is they'll push it out and you'll see it either grow or not grow, and then it dies. So I think what happens is they push it out to new people, and if they watch the whole thing and like it and subscribe and interact with it and things like that, they keep pushing it out to even more people. But if they see, because they can monitor all this, right, with the algorithm, if they see that people turn it off, or if they see that people don't click like, or if they click dislike, I'm not sure how they do it. I wish I knew. Then they'll basically kill it, and you'll see it go in an hour. Like one of mine in an hour went up to like 1,500 views. I was like, this is great. Come on, keep going. And it just stopped at 1,500 views. So in a few hours, it was at 1,500 views. And then a few days later, it was still at 1,500 views. Whereas videos tend to go slowly, slowly up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Shorts are like this little, what's the word? They're sort of instant gratification content, you know. But it's cool. Jasper says he agrees G7th is great. Did you try the G7th Heritage? I bought 2. Let's see what the Heritage is. I can't think right now. I'm pretty sure I did. There was one week I unboxed a bunch of capos from them. Heritage. That's going to bring up Heritage guitars. All right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just look for G7th capos. Because there's so many different ones. There's so many different versions of them. It's kind of hard to know what to recommend. So this is them here. The one I use at my gigs is this one, the Performance 3. And the reason is that you just clip it on, clamp it on, and squeeze it until the strings ring true, and then you're good to go. So that's probably my go-to for performance. And it indeed is called a G7 Performance. How about that? Crazy. And and then the one I have here with the adjustable thing on the back is it's the Newport, right? Yeah, this one, the Newport. I like this one a little bit more because you can adjust it after the fact. With the Performance, once you've squeezed it on, you've squeezed it on. If you want to adjust it, you've got to take it off and do it again. With this one, you can loosen it. So you can't loosen the other one so easily. With this one, you can actually loosen it and do like you can do micro adjustments basically. So this is the one I have here. This is the one I use for the live streams and the recording because it's more of a studio tool, I'd say. That's the Newport. And then I do have a couple of others, but they're the ones that I use most of the time. And Jasper has the Heritage. This is the Nashville. I have the Nashville, but I don't really use it. That'd be quite good for electric guitar. The Heritage is this one. Wow. And look at that one, 289. 220. Let's see this one. I hope I'm friends with the guys on Facebook. They're probably watching this right now. So I'll be careful what I say. No, I won't. It's not cheap, but I'm sure it's very nice. I've had a few capos like this. The problem that I have with them is they've got that U shape, and I think I'm always scared that I'll bang it on the guitar. I'm very, very careful with the neck of the guitar. Some capos I've heard about in the past have put like dings in the neck. I don't want that. So I think I have tried one like this before, and that's what I'm concerned about. But again, it's adjustable. It's very low profile. It's very nice. If that's the sort of thing that you're looking for, then it's very nice. But yeah, I don't like the U shape for that reason. How about this one? Look. And I think they personalize them as well, so you can get one with your name on it. But yeah, I do like the way it's low profile and adjustable, but it's just that U shape just concerns me a little bit. And it comes with a little leather pouch too. That's nice. That's the sort of thing that'd be a great gift for somebody, wouldn't it? Especially if it was personalized. But yeah, the one that I use live is the Performance, and that's the one I would recommend to most people because it's just so quick and easy. That's this one here, Performance 3. Just don't add it to cart. I've already got one. I've got 3 of them. I think it's important with capos as well to have like one in your gig bag and don't take it out. One in your cable bag and don't take it out. One on your desk at home and don't move it. And the reason is, last Monday I went to a practice and I didn't have my tuner. Why did I not have my tuner? Because I couldn't find it in here, so I took it out of my guitar bag, my gig bag, and of course I got to the practice and didn't have a tuner. So I've actually recently bought more of those clip-on Peterson tuners for that reason, but I still failed myself. I still managed to lose one and move one, even though I have 3 of them dedicated to their separate places. I still managed to lose one, replace that with the one from the gig bag, and then not have one in the gig bag. So I would definitely have these G7s, like 3 of them and 3 of the Peterson clip-on tuners, keep them in those respective places and never move them. I'm going to try to be more strict with that next year, because that's not good when you haven't got a tuner at a gig, especially the gig bag. That's a place where you should never take your stuff out because you don't want to lose it. My trailer shorts didn't get that much views. Like I said though, if you try a short and only get 100 views, then ignore it. Keep going. It doesn't mean anything. I'll tell you what happened here. I'll tell you what happened here. And I've got a few stories to tell you about gigs this week, but if you go to the YouTube section where you can see your analytics, right, and look at shorts. So basically, my first short, I did a condensed version of the carbon fiber versus wood video, and it got 192 views so far. That's in 12 days. That's pretty poor for me. So I was very downhearted and thought this is probably a waste of time. Then I did one about Apple Music. I'm testing stuff right now, so I'm seeing what works and what doesn't. So Apple Music brought out a new update last week to take the vocal out of a track. I thought, let's try something Apple related, because I do use all Apple stuff and I like Apple stuff and I know people are interested in it. So I did one on that. That was really slow as well, but that's now at 420. It's not bad. So I kept going. Then I did what's your favorite guitar pick, because I was thinking I want to do more videos about what do I actually use at gigs, right? I use these. Now that might be boring to talk about this in a 5-minute video, although I still may do it as part of the thing where I do the long video and the clip and the short video. But I thought this would be a great shorts video to do, because I can just say, this is my favorite pick. This is what it sounds like on the guitar. What is your favorite pick? And that did really well. I got to 1,500 views. So then I got encouraged, you know. So I did a short version of Driving Home for Christmas, 324. That's not bad. That's over half what the video got. The 6-string tuner is already at 565. That's really impressed me. That is a slow growing short. That never happens. That never happened. So what I did was, in case you're wondering what the heck that video was about, I tuned my guitar with this Peterson strobe tune, another thing that I love. And the reason I did that is because if I'm out or if I'm teaching or something, I can play that and tune the guitar to it. Again, if you haven't got a tuner, another way to tune. Or if you're doing a lesson with someone and you want to teach them how to tune by ear, you can play that video and they tune to the video. Also, if there's people out there that don't have a Peterson tuner or a tuner, they can tune to that video. So I thought it might do pretty well. And it only got a couple of 100 views, but now I'm looking at it and it's gone up to 565. That's actually growing. That never happens with a short for me. And then yesterday I did a funny one. I had a thought about the Neural DSP, did a funny one. That was really slow. That was like dead immediately, but now it's up to 192. So these shorts will grow as well. What you want to do is do one a week for 10 weeks and then look at your analytics and think, are these worth doing? Never just do one video and give up. Never do that. If I'd gone by that first short that I did, I would have just not done any more. Because like I said, my brother got 10K views and his channel's quite new, and my video got 100, and I was thinking I'm just wasting my time. Then the fact the next one got 420, that just got me to, got me the bug. And then the third one got 1.5K. I thought there is something here. And then I realized that what you can do is you can do your main video and just chop a bit out and throw it up as a short and have 2 videos for the price of 1. So don't be discouraged if the first short you do doesn't get many views. Keep going. And you never know which one is going to get the views. And then you can make more videos like that. That's something that I'm guilty of. I get a lot of views on certain videos, and I should basically do more of that content. Sometimes I'll just then go and do something else completely random and disconnected because I want to do that. I want to talk about stuff that I'm thinking about at the time. But you really must always look at your analytics and think, people like this video, let's do that again, right? Always do that. Something that I need to do more myself. Melvin says, nice to see you. Are you still in New York? Yes, still in New York City. I'm finally coming back in January, maybe in San Diego. Are you going to go back on the ships? I'd love to go on a cruise ship for a while, but I wouldn't be able to do my YouTube channel so easily, would I? I wouldn't have my studio and everything. Thomas Moore said, my G7 is very heavy, so I don't use it, like the Planet Waves NS Pro, since it's smaller. The G7, the older G7 Performance were a bit bigger, I believe, than the newer ones. And I think I've got a feeling this one's lighter as well with the adjustable thing on it. So they also make a plastic one, which is their kind of budget one, but that's really light because it's made from plastic. So be careful with the G7s. There are some versions that are kind of a bit heavy, do feel a bit heavy in the hand when you pick them up, but there's some that feel quite light. Like this to me is very light, this one. So if that was a concern for me, I'd probably use this one. Melvin's used G7th. Great stuff. Yeah, they're nice people too. David Belcher, I have a Heritage as well. Oh, very, very nice. I like to call them Heritage. Alfie, what's it all about? Hello, Aaron. Hello, everyone. Watching you from Roma, Italy. Very nice. How's the weather in Italy? So where I am on Saturday, it went from like 50, just dropped to like 8. And I was thinking to myself, that would be really bad for your guitar if you were outside with a guitar. Thomas Moore likes the Shubs too. There's so many capos, aren't there? I like the TC Polytune on the headstock. Yeah, I really like the. Again, I'm so bad it's not here. My go-to for the tuners is still the Petersons. I got the big one in here, so I'm covered. But I keep misplacing the small clip-on ones as well. I did put one of those D'Addario ones on the headstock of the Cole Clark, so it lives there all the time. But it's just not as fast and accurate as the Peterson. I wish Peterson would make one like that. That'd be really cool if they could do that. David primarily uses the Performance. The Heritage is on the Dread. Several Kaiser capos for backups in the gig bags. Yeah, so you've got you understand that too, right? Basically, just have tuners and capos everywhere, all the time. Oh, great! Got a clip-on Peterson tuner for Lee. It's good tuner. He likes it. Excellent. I'm glad you're in the Peterson family, Rosanna. Thomas Moore has the Sonic Research strobe on the pedal board and Boss TU2 on another board. I used to use those Sonic Researchers because they were battery powered. And then they brought out a new version that was mini. That's not battery powered, but it's a really small one. But now you've got the Peterson pedal tuners, the newer versions, the metal ones that I have. I really like that as well. But I do like the Sonic Research stuff. But I think I prefer the screen on the Peterson. I do like the fact there's a mini Sonic Research, and I wish that Peterson would make a mini version of their pedal board tuner as well. That could be a good product. Eddie says, I remember tuning the guitar from the old normal phone tone. Again, an A. Yeah. Yeah. Sean said, great advice, Aaron. You are speaking the truth on YouTube analytics. Well, I'm just learning as I go. I've not really been paying attention to YouTube. I started it I started my channel back in 2008 because a friend of mine, my colleague at the music school I worked at, asked me how to play a Mumford & Sons song. And I figured it out, which I was really happy about, because back then there weren't many videos on this stuff. So I figured out the tuning and how to play it. Oh, what's that? I started playing it again a few years ago, and I forget what it's called. One of their early songs, The Cave, right? And I put it on that channel, and this is back in the day, terrible quality with your phone, and it did really well. And I put a few other things up. I remember I had like 10 videos on that until 2017. And then in 2017, I decided I wanted to do these YouTube videos like other people were doing. So So I deleted a lot of those videos or put them on private or deleted them, whatever. And started again, basically. So at that point, I only had like 20 subscribers or something, but I'd had a few views here and there. And then I basically started again, but with that channel. And, you know, a few of my videos did well. Like, the funny thing is, the videos that have done the best for me are like the speaker videos, right? I think it's like the D18 unboxing and the speaker, the PA system videos. That's why I should do more of those. If you think about it, PA systems are applicable to DJs and people that sing and play clarinet and saxophone. They're not just for acoustic guitarists, right? If you talk about this capo, your market is very niche. But anyway, that wasn't planned. I spoke about those products because I was using them at my shows and I was excited about them. Lately, I'm not really bothered by the analytics, but I do look at them. And I'm going to try this year to try some stuff. And I just don't want to make videos just to get views. I want to make videos about what's important to me and what I find fun and interesting. But I definitely will look at what's done well and follow them up. So one of my most watched videos is the ultimate impulse response for acoustic guitar shootout. I'm so glad I did that. That was a really, really good video, you know, statistics, analytics wise. So I will do a follow-up, and I'll do a follow-up because next year we're going to get more software and firmware updates. We can get new pedals, new products that will do these jobs. So I can always do like the rematch, right, and redo it. It may not be as popular the second time round, but it's got to be better than doing something completely random and hoping for the best, right? So YouTube are good in that they give you all that information. They even tell you like when people stop watching, what they watch next, who else they watch. They tell you all that stuff. They want you to do well. They want you to make videos that people want to come and watch and therefore see the ads and make them money. They try to help you out with that stuff. So it's definitely worth considering. Thomas Moore says, I have the Mini for the size reason. Yeah, took a while to get used to the strobe, but it's really fast. Some people have said that to me over the years, that they can't get used to a strobe tuner, the way, because it looks so different, the way it spins around. But I guess I've been using them for many years, so I never really had that. I've been using them since like the late 90s. So, but some people do say that. I find though, if you do feel that way, and you might agree with me, Thomas, if you just sit down with it for like 10 minutes and just get used to that, then you get used to it. It's just some people are so used to the needle going left and right, they're not used to the thing spinning left and right. And it's just a different way to think about it. Oh, let me get some water. That was cool. That was a good chat. So I'll talk about songs now. One of my resolutions, drink more water. So I'm learning Everlong. Everlong has a dropped E to a D. It's funny because I don't like doing that. I don't like playing in alternate tunings simply because at a gig I have to retune the guitar. And then mentally you have to think differently, right? Because you've got different stuff going on. But Everlong is really good because it's very simple. And you just drop the E to a D. It's very, very easy to do. And then the shapes are very simple. And that sounds really good. If you haven't learned Everlong, then check that out by the Foo Fighters, the acoustic version. That's a great song and a great guitar part to play. John, how you doing? Good to see you. And Vic says, any plans on doing more online concerts? I enjoyed those. Yeah, I will do. The reason I did the online concerts was because we locked down and all my venues closed down, right? So I wanted to keep the practice. I was trying to learn Neon this week by John Mayer, and I got a blister on my thumb. No, on my finger, sorry. From the it's this kind of motion. And I got a blister just from like a few hours practicing that. That's a tough song. That's a great song though. So the reason I did those was to keep in practice, keep my name out there, you know, because for venues, you know, I'm friends with people from venues on Facebook and stuff, and to grow the channel as well, and obviously to get some super chats, which I did. So that's why I did that. The reason I don't do them now really is because I'm playing at the moment. I'm playing Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Sometimes at the weekends if there's a party or something. So I'm just kind of I'm taking the rest because they take a lot of setup time and you've got to get the room ready and the levels and everything. But I'd like to do more. I'd like to do maybe one a month or one every 3 months or one every one for Christmas or Halloween, you know, special ones. I'd like to still do them. I'm trying to decide lately what to do. Like, I love these Mondays because I get a lot of people in the week ask me on like Messenger questions about what gear to buy, and I'm like, come and hang out on the chat. That's what the Monday session is for. Come and ask me any questions about gear, or tell me what you've found with gear on a Monday, because otherwise I'll be replying to Messenger all the time. So that's what I tell. That's what I tell people. I mean, it doesn't really help because I still get asked me on Messenger. But usually, if they want like an in-depth answer, I'll say, "Ask me on a Monday, please," and I can talk about it as part of the stream. So that's why I definitely want to keep the Mondays going. I've said that I'm going to start doing news on Fridays. That will be recorded, not live. And then I'm going to keep doing the shorts to get some new people in, to promote the channel, and keep doing the reviews as much as I can. So that takes up a lot of the time, and then I've got my gigs. And then, like I said, I really have to keep learning new songs. If I don't, I feel like if I don't learn new songs, I won't be fresh when I do a concert in the real world, and that will affect me negatively. So I definitely want to do more online concerts. I think online concerts can be really fun. I've seen some people do them where they have the cameras moving around and they have the graphics on the screen and it's really interactive. So definitely something I want to do, but I just want to get other stuff going first of all. But yeah, I will do that. That's why I recorded the song as well. I don't want people to forget about the fact that I am a musician as well, right? And I sing. Some people don't know that I sing even. Some people come on here every Monday and just hear me talking about gear. They don't hear me use the gear. So it's important to do those as well. What I will do is more songs. So I'm going to do more actual music videos of cover songs. And I'm also going to do more acoustic versions as well. I'll probably do that before I do the live stream concerts. And also, I also want to learn how to use Logic better and Final Cut Pro better as well. There's so much to learn now. As an independent musician, isn't it crazy? I mean, just to get out there and play gigs, you have to get the equipment, learn how to do sound, learn how to play the guitar, learn how to sing, learn all the songs. And then when you want to jump onto YouTube, you've got to learn how to live stream. You've got to learn basic lighting at least. You've got to learn how to set up your camera. I remember when I got my camera, I couldn't figure out the best settings. I think Peter Gregg actually helped me set this up for this setting. I haven't got a clue. And I haven't got a clue now. I just got it set up and left it that way. You have to, then when you want to record a song, you have to learn how to do mixing, and you have to learn how to EQ and run plugins and do multiple takes and things like that. And then you have to learn how to edit the video, how to import the files, how to edit the files, make them sync up. You know, I'm not complaining, by the way. I love all this stuff. It's like the ultimate hobby because it's got all these different parts of it. And music's a great hobby and skill or profession, because you can just play guitar. You could be like Tommy Emmanuel and just play acoustic guitar and work on that and your arrangements and your songwriting and really hone that skill in and just basically do that. Not that he doesn't do other stuff, but I feel like someone like that, that's their focus, right? And then you could also do a bit of everything if you want to. You could play drums and bass and guitar and produce your own songs and make your own videos and do courses. And so there really is everything and anything and everything in between. And that's why with music, I mean, you never get bored of music, do you? There's always a new song to learn. Or if you really are bored of all the songs and playing guitar for some reason, you could start a YouTube channel and talk about the history of music, right? There's always something else until the day you die that will give you a reason to do music. I don't know many people that just quit music completely. Do you know anyone that did that? I mean, I'm sure it happens, but there's so many different elements to it, right? Did you ever try the busking gig? I think you could be a WDAS type YouTuber. Thanks, Sean. I mean, that's funny. I used to busk when I was younger, before YouTube, before I was really doing so many public gigs. I was busking. Doing it as part of the channel is a really interesting idea. And you know who else? Sean, check out, there's this guy, Reg, Guitaro 5000. Have you seen him? It's so cool because when I moved to New York City in 2010, I met him and he was busking on trains. He wasn't making videos. He was busking on trains. And then over the years, I saw him do like private gigs and bar gigs, and he would throw some my way too. And then he started doing YouTube. He did a YouTube video about his unique way that he plays the guitar and got loads of views on that. But then he started doing this Sing With Me feature that he now does all the time. And his channel just exploded. So he will set up in a subway station, much like before, where he was playing. Before he was going up to people and saying, what song would you like me to play? Playing the song, and they'd give him a tip. Now he sits there with a sign and a t-shirt and says, sing with me. What song would you like to sing with me? He plays the guitar. He learns it quickly. He plays it for them. They sing it. And that is the video. He makes them feel better about their day. So yeah, there's a lot of people that do go out on the streets and busk and do certain things, play certain songs in certain situations that get a lot of views. People like that, don't they? People like to watch people doing stuff. In fact, the last few weeks I've been watching a lot of those videos, those prankster videos. Some of them are really fake. Some of them are really dumb. But there's a couple of people that do them. They do them nicely, you know. They do like, if you can catch this ball, then I'll give you $100, or can you lend me $1? They give him $1. He gives them $100 back. You know, that kind of stuff. Because it's real. If it's not fake and it is real, then it's real world. They're out there doing that. It's people, isn't it? People want to watch stuff with people. So I agree. It's definitely something to consider, but it's certainly not something I would do at this time of year in the weather. Thomas Moore says, do you have any advice on starting to sing? I mostly play and let others do that. It's time to start. Yes, it's always time to start. I believe anyone can sing. I believe that some people have a nicer natural tone than others. And you can sometimes hear that in the talking voice. You can hear the resonance and what the voice is going to sound like when they sing from the natural tone they have. Having said that, when you sing, you lose a lot of that as well, don't you? Like, I lose my accent when I sing. So the truth is, Thomas, just start, but maybe get some lessons. The thing that I worry about with giving advice with things like that is I don't want you to learn bad habits and injure yourself, right? It's like when you join a gym, you wouldn't tell someone just to go to the gym and just start lifting weights. You would say, watch some videos, get a trainer, learn the right way to lift the weights, and then just lift the weights and just gradually, very gradually increase them. It's like that with singing. Get a few basic things under your belt, like how to breathe, how to and stand and stretch, and the real basics. But then just start. So start with songs that are really easy in your range. Now everyone has a different range. Some people have a low voice. Some people have a mid voice and a high voice. Some people have the whole thing, like U2. So that's why the U2 songs are so hard to sing. They go from really low to really high in full voice. So don't start with the U2 song. But in the same way, don't start with a Johnny Cash song. Don't think, well, Johnny Cash had a really low voice. That's really easy. No, it's actually really hard to sing his songs well because he's got such a bass voice. You know, he really has those low notes dialed in the same way that a lot of singers have the high notes dialed in. So look for stuff that's right in the middle. Like a great one to start with is like Knocking on Heaven's Door in G major. And the reason is it's really easy to play. So first of all, you haven't got to think about what you're playing because it's just G, D, A minor 7, G, D, C. So first of all, learn that and get that. I mean, some people at different levels. So get that down first of all. Make sure you can play it without even thinking about it. You can play it while you're watching the TV. You can play it fast, play it slow, and play it at the original recording speed, right? Get that song down so you're completely 100% can play it in your sleep. Then practice singing to that. Because it's a good one, because it's right in the middle of most people's ranges. Right? It's right in the middle. It's not really high, it's not really low. If it is, you can use the capo we spoke about earlier to shift the key. So if you're finding that it's a bit low for your voice because you've got a high range, then stick a capo on the 2nd fret. Do it in A. And likewise, you could also tune down a half step if it's too high. I don't think it'll be too high for you. I think it'll be right in the middle. It is for most people, especially for guys, right? For a girl, you usually go up like a 4th. So a girl singer doing that would usually go up to C. And most guys would do it in G. I'm generalizing here because everyone has different voices, but that's a general thing. So try that song and just sing it. And then once you've, like a few things, like learn the guitar part so you can play it in your sleep. Learn the words so you can recite them like a poem off the top of your head. Then learn the melody. Learn each thing separately and then put them together slowly. And then once you feel like you can sing the whole song through and it's sounding pretty good and you're confident with it, then record it and listen back critically. And then be really critical and think, right, what do I need to work at? Like it might be, I don't like the tone of my voice. I don't have a nice tone. So then see if you can figure out a way to get more resonance in the tone. Or it might be, I sound out of tune. And you can ask another musician if you're out of tune because sometimes it's hard to hear. you might think, oh yeah, I'm not hitting the notes. So then just practice the notes again. See if you can get them more in tune. You can even use something like the Peterson strobe tune if you want. This has a microphone built in. You can even practice singing the notes to this, and it will tell you. Like, see, it's got the note there. So you could sing along to this and see if it's hitting the note. You could do that as well. Just think the different scenarios. You might be you might hear yourself running out of breath. You can't finish the line. So then practice more breathing techniques. All right. So that's what I would do. But as you said, you've just got to start doing it. It's just something you get better at. When I started, I was terrible. And even some people close to me told me I was no good. But that made me want to keep doing it. Because I was like, I'm going to keep doing it. It's work like everything else. And I know it sucks to have to work at stuff too. Like, I really want to learn Neon by John Mayer. That is just going to be hard work. There's no other way about it. No one sits down and plays Neon like John Mayer instantly. No one. You have to sit down, figure out exactly what he's doing, and practice it bar by bar for weeks and months until you can do it. And even then, when you listen back, it might not be quite where you want it to be. But the more work you put into that, the more it will come and the better it will be. But yeah, that's a tough one, especially when there are songs like Everlong out there that are so easy to play. You just tune down the D and just strum down on the chords, right? That's a very easy song to play. But then tuning that low E down to a C and playing Neon with fingerstyle, this like complete opposite ends of the spectrum. That's really hard. Lee says it's really easy. He just records himself on the phone and hopes. No, don't just hope. He stopped for gas, not gear acquisition syndrome. Real gas. All right, Kevin says, what have you heard about the Boss AD10? I feel like some people have been asking me about this lately. Was it you asking about this on the YouTube channel? Let's take a look at it on Sweetwater. By the way, if you're shopping for anything on Sweetwater, I'll give you my link. There we go. In fact, if you're not shopping on Sweetwater, click that link for me anyway. It helps me out. It won't cost you anything. It's just it shows up on the algorithm that people are clicking on my link. And if you are buying something, click the link and buy it, and it will send me a little something as well. So let's jump over and check out this pedal for Kevin. This is the AD10. Well, let me see. Have some water. We'll talk about it. You know what I'm going to say about it first of all, don't you? I don't think I've tried this particular pedal. I've tried the one that is also for singers, the gold one. But you also know I'm extremely biased towards TC Helicon, not because I work with them, because I just like their stuff. Look, the first thing I'll say about this pedal is the form factor is excellent. It's very portable. It's about the same size as a Voice Live Play Acoustic, a TC Play Acoustic. It looks very dated, doesn't it? It just looks old. Now I don't see that as a negative. Some people see that as a negative. I don't see that as a negative, but it does look old, and there's not really a screen as such. And that's the problem I had with the other one. It's good that you have the physical controls here. Some people want this, right? Where you can just turn the treble up and you can see where it is on the pedal. Some people want this from a pedal. So in that respect, it's good. And if all you want is boost, a delay, and a tuner and mute, and a looper like this, if this is what you want, you don't want much stuff. You want basically a DI, an EQ, some reverb. I'm not going to say this isn't a good option, because I remember the one that I had was pretty good. But the reason I didn't like the one I had is that it doesn't have a screen, and I wanted presets. Then again, the one that I had was more for voice and guitar, so I need the screen because I need to know what that preset is doing. I need it to say, this is going to be a harmony, this is going to be a vocal delay, this is going to be a vocal distortion. You may not need it on this pedal. But the problem is, like, if you're on memory 1, what is memory 1? If you're only going to use 3 memories and you can remember, and your memory is good enough to know what they are, that's fine. But I just like to have a basic screen on my pedal. That's why I like the TC stuff. I do like these foot switches. They're very easy to press and comfortable on your feet. And they're noise free. I do like the form factor. I like the features. I like the fact it's got the physical knobs on it. But I think ultimately for me, something like the Play Acoustic is the better option, especially if you do sing. If you sing, then there's then definitely. If you don't sing, then maybe not. But the thing about this one is, okay, you're going to say there's no knobs. Yeah, I agree. But you can save presets, and you can attach another 3-button foot switch for your guitar effects. So by attaching the other 3-button foot switch, you could have your boost, you could have your delay, and you could have your chorus, and you just set those up in the menus. I quite like having the stuff in the digital menus because it means that you won't ever knock it. Like when you get to the gig, you haven't accidentally knocked the dials. So I also don't make many adjustments, so that doesn't really bother me. And as a singer as well, I love the fact that this thing is good for voice. But the reason I like this one so much is because you have that screen, and that screen will tell you what the current preset is. You see? Like this one is that preset. I just set mine to say like vocal delay or vocal harmony or third up or fifth up, something like that. So this is the one that I would recommend, but this is really for singers and guitarists. If you want one that's only for guitar, then I understand why you're looking at the AD10. And I think it's a good option. I think the Boss stuff is really good. I just think, personally, I think it's time for them to bring one out with an app control and a little screen on there. Not a touch screen necessarily, but some kind of screen. But, yeah, I mean, it's got everything there, hasn't it? It's got everything there you need. It's got 2 notches for feedback. It's got some acoustic resonance to improve the sound of your pickup. It's got a 1-knob compression, which I always like. It's got delay and chorus. It doesn't have a tap tempo, but I presume you can add another foot switch to do that. It's got a really nice EQ with the presence as well. So all this stuff is in the TC pedal, but it's a bit more buried in the menus, whereas on here you've just got the stuff ready to go for. I really see a better benefit in both of those things. But someone asked me about this during the week, and I wanted to say to them, oh, there's actually 2 inputs. That's nice. Someone asked me, 2 guitars. Look, that's cool. Someone asked me about this during the week, and I wanted to say, it's good, but if they're a singer as well. This person was a singer as well, and they already have some vocal pedals. I wanted to say to them, just get the Voice Live Extreme as everything in one. Then you don't need anything else. You just have one pedal and you go. So with the vocal and the guitar stuff, I feel like that's the best way to go. If you're only playing acoustic guitar, I think this could be a good way to go. I would certainly get the expression pedal as well. So then you can have a tap tempo, a chorus on or off, a boost, a delay, and a tuner, a mute, and a looper as well. I would definitely go that way. But with the TC one, you can buy a 6-button foot switch. Then you can have like dedicated looper and 4 other buttons. You have even more buttons than on this one. And this doesn't have MIDI either, so you're stuck with the expression pedal, the 2-button expression pedal. So yeah, worth considering, but also consider the TC one if you sing as well. All right, let's see where we're at. But I've not heard good or bad about it, and the reviews are positive on Sweetwater. You don't sing? Okay, then yeah, I would get the Boss from somewhere with a return policy and try it out, and then let me know what you think of it. Jasper says, thank you for saying songs at times take months and months to master. I agree. Sometimes it takes a year if you want to play it well. Definitely. And you want to learn, I think, my opinion is you want to learn songs as the original. You don't want to make a simplified version. Like Neon can be played kind of simplified, but it doesn't have that authentic feel and groove that the original has. Julian says, you need to check out the Felix by Grace Design. It's very expensive. Yeah, it's like $1,000. It's by far the best sounding preamp I've ever used. It has 2 channels with separate loops, so you can use guitar effects. So, Julian, I have owned one for a few days. I just felt like the DIs are funny because I can hear stuff, right? I can hear like when a cheap wireless adds noise or reduces the treble, I can hear that. But a DI, like a K&K through different DIs, I can't hear that improved quality. I can hear certain things, like the K&K DI definitely shelves out all that low-end rumble. They're doing something to, I can hear that. But I can't hear like components like changing, radically changing the sound. Not enough to recommend $1,000 DI. And then again, my problem with that pedal is that you do need to add a reverb, a chorus, a delay. Now, if I had a roadie and they would set that up for me, I may do that. I'm not disputing that obviously it's incredible quality, it's well made. I'm talking more from a practical standpoint for what I do. So for what I do, I'd rather just buy a VoiceLive 3 Extreme because it is a good DI. I can't really hear a difference. It's also got a 3-track looper, a tuner, a reverb, a delay. Now, they're not the best in the world, but they satisfy me, and I want to just get to a gig, put a pedal down, and play. So yeah, I would definitely have something like that. If you know, I'm not knocking it, but I got a friend that takes that and his laptop and other pedals to gigs. I can't physically carry that stuff on a train, you know. So that's why the all-in-ones are so valuable to me. But yeah, I had one of those for a few days, and I was just like, I can't justify keeping this because I don't hear the quality for the price, and I'm going to end up not using it at gigs, so I can't justify having it. I would like to check one out again, though, and be more kind of, you know, analytical, scientific about it. And you can use the vocal mic. Yeah, sure. But it doesn't have any reverb, does it? It doesn't have, it's that box is simply $1,000 high quality component DI, like the best you can get. But then you've got to add other stuff to it. So if that's the route you want to go, I'm sure it's the best you can do, but is it going to be practical and also cost effective? Kevin says, how's the EQ in the TC? So in the TC, the EQ on the guitar, you can edit completely. You have a notch control for taking out any feedback. You have a high pass filter for taking out the lows. And then you've got the 4-band EQ, which is parametric, where you can set the frequencies it's at. So that's really cool. That is as powerful as the Boss. I feel like the TC Play Acoustic does everything the Boss does. It's just that you're not going to have the physical controls on the top. And if you don't sing, it may not be worth having. Having said that, Kevin, do you play for a singer? Because if you do, you can plug them into the Play Acoustic and turn on harmonies and things for them and give them effects. And it becomes basically a little 2-track mixer, which is nice as well. It really depends on what, you know, the application you're using it for. Merry Christmas, Mark. How you doing? Good to see you. Lawrence Juba uses at NASFest. I'm sure the touring musicians are using dedicated preamps, dedicated effects. I mean, like I said, if I was a touring musician with a roadie, with a van, I'd have no problem having a pedal board with the Grace Design, the Universal Audio reverbs, right? A laptop, because with a laptop, then you have unlimited EQ. I would do all that. But for what I do now, I prefer the all-in-one. And not many companies make those all-in-ones, which I really struggle with. It's really only TC Helicon that have an all-in-one, right? Oh, you play and sing. There we go. Get the VoiceLive. Either get the VoiceLive 3 Extreme, which is my favorite at the moment, or the TC Play Acoustic. You're going to absolutely love it. And then get the they have a Switch 3 that gives you 3 additional buttons, which you can program in the unit, or the Switch 6. The Switch 6 is the best because you've got 6 additional buttons, and you can just write on each one what they do and label them with a pen. You know, I'll print out some labels. Then you've got 6 buttons. So what I would do is the Switch 6 would be like, 1 would be like a volume boost, 2 would be delay on, 3 would be tap tempo, 4 would be chorus on or off, 5 would be record a loop, and 6 would be delete a loop. So you've got all those on there, and then the actual little box itself, the pedal itself, would simply be up and down through the presets. And you can set it so the guitar effects are always the same, whatever preset you're on, but the presets change the vocal effects. So you could program 1 to be just keep it simple, that's what I do on mine. 1 would just be a third above your voice, and it automatically adds the harmony. 2 could be a vocal delay. 3 could be a larger reverb on your voice. 4 could be 2 harmonies for country songs. 5 could be a megaphone voice for like Tom Waits songs, something like that. So definitely Definitely, that's the only one that I can personally recommend. I love that pedal. The Voice Live 3 Extreme is like that on steroids. That's even better. And it's not much heavier. It's just a bit more money and a bit more work to program because it's got more buttons on it and it's got a different way of thinking, a different workflow. So definitely the Play Acoustic and the Switch 3 or the Switch 6 I would go for. I think you're going to like it. If you sing, it's just amazing. The fact that it gives you automatic EQ on your voice and the fact that it gives you reverb, it becomes a mixer as well. You don't need a mixer anymore. You just plug out of that straight into your PA system, into a speaker, powered speaker, and you go. You don't need a mixer. Now, it's nice to have a mixer, but you don't need it, right? I love them. And I tell you, buy one now while they still make them, because there'll become a time they don't make those pedals anymore, and that will suck. So, just buy one from Sweetwater where you can test drive it, see if you like it. If you like it more than a bit, then keep it, because I fear one day they'll stop making them, and no one else will make a product like that. I hope I'm wrong, but that could be it's going to be a real problem if that ever happens. The Boss doesn't have reverb? Really? How is that even possible? No, it does. It calls it ambience. They call it ambience. So ambience is reverb, and then delay chorus, compression, acoustic resonance, anti-feedback, and EQ. But the Play Acoustic has all that and a lot more. All that and a lot more. And you can attach a 6-button foot switch to it, which doesn't need power. So that's really cool too. Yeah, I just can't. I'm very passionate about those pedals. I've got no affiliation with them. I met them once, and then they let those people go. It's so sad they don't still make those products, but they're still the best out there. They're amazing. And I swear that those pedals have paid a lot of my bills over the years, Jasper says, now I can sing and fingerpick many Jason Isbell songs. Practice for over 5 years. What is missing is volume. Will the amp do that for me? I'm not using a plectrum. Yeah, some guitars just aren't very loud. We watch videos of people playing fingerstyle, and we think that the guitar's really loud, but it's not. It's just the fact that it's coming through the phone or whatever, right? The fact is, a lot of guitars are not that loud for fingerstyle unless you really dig in and you really play hard. I've heard people play loud fingerstyle, especially with a thumb pick or something, but you really want the amp to do the work. So I found that with a lot of my guitars, they're not that loud. They're only loud if I use a heavy pick and ram into them, and then you're going to get buzzing and stuff anyway. So yeah, let the amp do the work. Get a nice amp and do that. Rosanna says, what's your favorite go-to brand of guitar strings? Do you like to mix it up? That's a great question. I've always used the Martin SPs. There was a time when they rusted on me, rusted on me, and I went off them. Then I got back into them. Then they kind of remade them, the new formula, and I've used them ever since. I think they're great strings. But lately, I've been trying the D'Addario and Elixir. I can't believe I'm using Elixirs again. I used to be very much against those strings, but I get tired of the strings dying. Whereas I used to change strings almost every day at one time. You could never do that now because of the price of things. But I've kind of, from playing Elixirs on my Cole Clark and my Rain Song, because that's what they ship them with, kind of got me a bit. They're very clever Elixir, because I'm like, oh, actually, I quite like these. They're not that bad. I'll play them a bit longer. So I've been using them. They don't feel as good to me. So again, talking about a roadie, if I had a roadie who every day restrung my guitar with the Martin strings, the SP Lifespans, I would use those. Or maybe the D'Addario. But because I play a lot during the week and my strings rust quickly because I sweat a lot, I'm actually really enjoying Elixirs. But they do have a certain feel to them. And they also have a bit more tension to them, I think, as well. And a certain sound as well. So they're a bit of a compromise for me, but they last so long. I think that's really important. They stay nice and fresh for a long time. I know there's a bunch of other strings. There's something that I'll look into in the new year. But at the moment, I'm using Elixir Phosphor Bronze or the Martin SP Lifespan. They'd be my go-tos, I'd say. Occasionally the standard D'Addarios as well. That's something I need to look into more in the new year. Thomas Moore used a SansAmp Paradii into a PA for acoustic last week, and it worked great. Yeah, the SansAmp stuff is great. I like the little fly rig pedals, but the acoustic version of that is just too small for me. It's like it's so tiny. I need to be able to hit those buttons, you know. Thomas Moore said they skipped all the effects. Yeah, the effects are all there. Jasper said, update. Not sure how you found the Heritage for 220. Original UK website is 100 less. Enough about Cabos. Good night. Thanks for chatting. Cabos are so valuable though, aren't they? They're so useful. Lee just tried Elixirs the first time. He's not keen on the tone. Yeah, it took me years. Like try it with strings when you try a new string. Not to sound patronizing, but just try them for a while. Try them longer than you want to. Like if you just think, oh, I don't like that, just keep going with them. Like force yourself and give them a chance. And then, because the thing about a string is maybe after 2 weeks you'll like the tone. The tone will change, right? And over the time. So maybe in 2 weeks you'll really like the tone, or even a month you'll like the tone, and it will keep that tone then for another 4 months. Whereas with the Martins, you might like the tone at first, and they might just be dead after 2 weeks. I'm not saying that's the fact, but all I can say is that I used to be very much against Elixir, and now they've really grown on me because I've been subjected to them. That's a terrible phrase, right? But I've been like forced to use them on the new guitars. I didn't just take them off straight away, and I'm like, oh, it's quite good. Like I said, they're still not my favorite. If I had one guitar and I was restringing that every week, I would use the Martin strings. Because I also think that's because I'm so used to them as well. We get used to a certain feel of the string. But if you have several guitars, I mean, the Elixirs make a lot of sense, because if you restring all your guitars with them and you just grab a guitar in 6 months, they're still going to be decent strings, whereas other strings might not be so good. Also, if you sweat a lot, the Elixirs just might be worth it. There's other brands too. D'Addario have a new coated string as well. It's worth checking out. There's other ones that I'll look at in the future, but there's also different Elixirs. The Elixir Nano Web Phosphor Bronze are the ones that I would say to try. Mine are actually the 8020s. I'm going to do a video soon on 8020 versus Phosphor. But yeah, that's all I'll say about them. It took me many years to actually kind of accept them. So before you whip them off the guitar, Lee, just force yourself to play them, and don't focus on the fact you don't like them as much as other strings. Try just to play, just forget about it, just play, and see if they grow on you. Because that's what happened to me. Do I like Phosphor Bronze coated strings from D'Addario XS? I've got a set to try. They did like a giveaway a few months ago, didn't they? You can try the new strings. So I'm going to try those, Jasper. I'd like to compare those to the Elixirs for the reason we've talked about. And even the Martin ones are treated, but they're not coated, right? They're treated, so they feel really good to me. They've got that, you know, there's something to grip onto, you know. You feel them under your fingers. Not that you don't feel the Elixirs, they just feel a bit slicker, and they kind of sound a bit slicker. But I don't know, the sound is less of a worry to me than the feel of them, you know. Have I gigged with the Rain song? No, I haven't, because I haven't done the review yet. I'm going to do the full review hopefully this week, which will be, and I'm not going to gig with it until I've upgraded the pickup to the Anthem. And I don't want to upgrade the pickup to the Anthem until I've done the review, because I want to review the guitar just as is. And then I'll, you know, with the original pickup, and then I'll change the pickup, make a video how to change the pickup, and then I would then gig it at that point. But I have been playing it a lot, and I'm very happy with it. That's a great guitar, and I recommend if you're looking for a carbon guitar to check them out while they're on the $500 discount. That's definitely I think it's probably my favorite Rain song so far. I really like the neck. I really like the sound. I really like the weight of it. William's going to try the Martin Flexible Core, Tommy Emmanuel's. Yeah, I don't think I've tried those, although I am a massive Martin and Tommy Emmanuel fan. Good stuff. Any last questions? I'm going to start to wrap things up. Let me know if you've got any final questions. And like I said, next week I'll be talking about resolutions. Not that I expect myself to stick to them, but we could talk about that. More importantly, what are your guitar resolutions for next year? What do you want to do more of? I definitely want to learn more songs. I want to learn more complicated songs in the authentic way. I want to make more song recordings for the channel. I want to do more videos in general. I want to grow the channel. And that the only way you grow a channel is just by making loads of videos, I found. Thomas Moore says, what is the cutaway John Mayer's using recently? And I wonder what pickup is in it. Sounds really good. Yeah, let's finish with that. It's a funny thing about John Mayer. When I saw him at the Garden, Madison Square Garden, a couple of years ago, I thought his guitar sounded really good. And I don't know why. I tried to get in touch with his guitar tech. He's got a new guitar tech. But he didn't reply to me, of course. But I think he's doing something to that acoustic guitar now. It doesn't sound like a piezo anymore. I think they might be running it through an IR or something, because at one gig he has a mic on the stand, and I'm sure they're blending that mic in. That would explain that. But the Garden, he didn't have a mic anywhere, and it sounded much more natural than usual. So I think they're processing that now, and I want to know how they're processing it and what the pickup is. I've got no reason to think it's not a Fishman Gold Plus anymore, but they're definitely processing it somehow. And I really, really, really want to know what they're doing. And you're right, he's also playing a cutaway. He never plays the SC13 Custom they gifted him a while ago. He has never played that on a video that I've seen, or at least a concert. He has been playing a cutaway, which is interesting. I wonder if they would do another signature for him, because his signature guitar models were so, especially the OM, was so popular. Why not do another one? So why not do that cutaway as a custom signature? That'd be a really cool option. But yeah, pickup wise, I don't know. I want to know. I think it's still an undersaddle, and I can't see that there's like anything in the sound hole. So I think it's the Gold Plus going through a custom IR. Remember, people like John Mayer have access to the best of the best, right? So there's absolutely no reason why Fishman could not have made, and this is, I don't know anything about it, this is just speculation. There's no reason why Fishman could not have made an Aura HD, which is their newest technology, especially for John Mayer, with his inputs and his requirements. There's absolutely no reason why they couldn't have done that. Made him some for his guitars, and then the sound engineer runs them through the front of house. There's no reason why they couldn't do that for him. And I also think a lot of companies are going to start doing that without us realizing as well. The same way that JHS pedals just did a big reveal, like they've been using a Kemper for the last 12 months, and you can buy those patches from them. That's a great marketing tool, right? So maybe in 2023, Fishman will come along and say, hey, we're now selling the Aura HD pedal. And by the way, that's what John Mayer's been using on tour the last 12 months. Just a thought, just a thought. But it does, you're absolutely right. It sounds noticeably better, and I don't know why, and I don't know who to ask about it. So I really want to know what they're doing with that, because it sounds great. It sounds like a mic and a pickup, whereas it used to just sound like a pickup. And by the way, I didn't mention about the looper. The news about the looper I was going to say is that I almost sold my Eros looper from Singular Sound. Again, I'm not using it because I used the Voice Live 3, but I did think it was a cool idea for a looper. I've had it for years. I was going to sell it because I'm trying to sell stuff that I'm not using. But they just released a massive beta update. Massive. Like all the features that were kind of missing are now in this update. I'm sure it'll be buggy. They say it themselves will be buggy. But when they finish that update, it could be an amazing looper pedal. So I might download that and check that out for next time. Rosanna said, Lee said the elixirs seem to knock the intonation off, but he usually uses the Dario. I haven't noticed that. I always think with Martin guitars, the intonation is a bit flat on the 12th fret unless you press hard. Have you noticed that? So mine is always flat, and if I press hard, like I'm gripping a chord and really pressing the note down, then it goes into tune. Whereas with the Rain song, it's perfectly intonated when I just press down on the note. So I find that interesting too. I'm not sure why that is. If they do it to compensate for when people grip onto the neck, or if it's just the way it is. I don't know. But I've never noticed the strings to do that, although I'm sure they do. And I do think the elixirs have more tension. If you go on the website for string companies, it will tell you the tension of the string. So elixirs do in general have more tension on them than, for example, the Martin strings. And you can find that information on the strings websites, like the manufacturer's website. So I don't know if you've got a strobe tuner now, right, Lee? So if you've got the strobe tuner, that's a great way to check the intonation and see what's going on and try the different strings. But yeah, that's interesting. I haven't noticed that, but I'll definitely check. I'll look for that next time I put them on my guitar. And I'm going to do that video. I want to compare the 8020s to the Fosbra Bronze, because I don't understand why Rainsong are shipping guitars with 8020s. People say that Rainsongs are already quite bright guitars, and they're using the 8020s, which people say are bright strings. So I actually said to them the other day, I was talking to Dave, and I said, why don't you put Fosbra Bronze on? Because you're not actually having your guitars in the stores anymore. When they're in the stores, the strings might age over the year, and you want them to be brighter strings. But if you're shipping a guitar directly to a customer, and they get that guitar and the strings are super bright, and the guitar's a brighter guitar to start with, that doesn't make sense to me. So surely you want to ship your guitars with Fosbra Bronze strings, don't you? So when you take it out of the box, you're like, oh, this sounds great. My fear these days is if you get a guitar sent to you and you take it out of the box and you strum it and it's bright, you might want to return it. You might start thinking, oh, it's a bright guitar, but it's actually just the strings that are shipping on the guitar. Anyway, just a thought. I'm going to do that video. Again, I'm going to do that video because the last video I did comparing strings did really well, and I'd forgotten the strings that I was using. It's a terrible video. I should have deleted it, but I decided not to because I got so many views. But I forgot whether the Elixirs were Fosbra Bronze or 8020, and I compared them to the Martin Fosbra Bronze. And to this day, I can't remember which was which. So that's a good reason to remake that video. I'm going to do Fosbra Bronze Elixirs for sure versus Martin Fosbra Bronze. And then I'm going to do Fosbra Bronze Elixirs versus 8020 Elixirs to see what the differences are. People like those videos because people want to know what strings they should buy, especially when the strings are like $20 a set, you know. So yeah, I'll check that out on my guitars, Lee. I haven't noticed that. And remember, it could always be that particular set of strings. I have occasionally got a set of strings that were no good. And if that ever happens, I'd always reach out to the company and say, this happened, can you send me another set? Because I've had that. Like, I've had a Strat where the low E just went really weird. That just died the next day. And it was just a bad set of strings. That can happen with any brand. All right, I'm going to wrap things up. Keep it short and sweet today. So, enjoy your New Year's weekend. Thank you for all your support this year in 2022. I really appreciate it. And look out for more coming next year. So again, as always, if you're new here, subscribe and ring the bell. That's the best way to know when I release a video. I don't have a mega set in stone schedule these days. So subscribe and ring the bell, turn on notifications for YouTube, and it will tell you when I've gone live or posted the video. But from next week, I will have every Monday at 4 for Q&A, Hangout, and I will have every Friday a recorded video about the week's news. There's a lot of new stuff coming out next year. And there'll be a lot of new firmware software updates as well. I'll be putting that in that section. And then the regular videos throughout the week, which are random. So subscribe, ring the bell. You'll know when I'm here, when I post something. Enjoy your week. I'm sure a lot of people are having a restful week. If you are, enjoy it. Enjoy New Year's Eve, whatever you're doing. And am I right that this time next week will be 2023? I'm not losing my mind, am I? It must be. Yes, so Saturday is New Year's Eve, Sunday will be the 1st, and Monday will be the 2nd. So here we go. We're gonna be in a new year on next week's live stream. We'll see what it brings. All right. Thanks for your help. Thanks to Rosanna for moderating. Thanks everyone for your questions. Another interesting day of random questions that led to new topics, which I love. And subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you in 2023, if not before. Have a great week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
I'm not lost, but I'm not found. I'm not up, but I'm not down.